Welcome to Sales Funnel Radio, where you'll learn marketing strategies to grow your online business using today's best internet sales funnels. And now, here's your host, Steve Larsen.
Hey, what's going on, everyone? This is Steve Larsen, and every year I actually have this tradition going on, and this is the third year I've done it, so it's still a newish tradition, but I'm keeping up with it, which is awesome. And every single year, what I do is I go and I create a video publicly saying what my goal is for that year, and it makes me scared and nervous every time I do this. But what's been cool is to go through and look at the last year and be like, wow, I got all this cool stuff done. You know what I mean? And so 2 years ago when I did this, I was like, gosh, I'm going to try my hardest just to make an extra $1,000 every month. Like that would change my life, you know? And we were struggling. It was super, super hard. And we were having a hard time just living, just hitting the basics, you know what I mean? And it was, oh my gosh, like it was hard. I know that you've probably felt, if you're watching this video and you follow me at all, you've probably gone through something like this. And if not, you most likely will, or someone that you love will. And anyway, yeah, you feel challenged as like a man. I was brand new married. Well, not then. So I've been married 5 years now. We have 2 kids, a 1-year-old and a 3-year-old. And I remember just thinking like, crap, diapers are expensive. And I was like, man, just an extra $1,000 a month would just change everything for me, right? And so it was about 3 or 4 years ago actually now, I sold my first stuff online, and I went nuts. I was like, oh my gosh, this works. This is so crazy, right? And so I set a goal. I was like, okay, I'm just going to try and make an extra $1,000 a month, right? And that was 3 years ago. And I didn't hit it. And it's crazy though. So then the second year, and I'll put the links down to those other videos down in the description here on YouTube. So 2 years ago then, 2015, 2015, I was like, oh my gosh, it would be so awesome if I could make an extra, $2,000 a month. And I didn't hit it, but I made someone else like $53,000 using the methods that I use. And I was like, wait a second. Okay, I think I might be onto this. And I just kept grinding, staying up till like 3 a.m. all the time. You know what I mean? Like pushing it so hard, not stopping, barely sleeping, that kind of thing. And that's not like I want to live like that, but I hadn't figured it out yet, you know? So 2016, just this last year, a year ago, I made a goal and I was like, this is huge. Like I am so scared to actually hit this. And I said, I'm going to try and make $4,000 every month through a passive income stream. And I was like, that's insane. Like I'm nuts. I'm crazy. There's no way I'm going to be able to get that done, you know? And I hit it. And please understand that I'm not trying to be braggy. I'm not trying to be weird when I say this stuff, but I worked my guts off. And I have an amazing wife who allows me to be able to do what I'm doing so that I can hit those kinds of goals. You know what I mean? So this is income on the side of my actual job. So I'm going to give you guys a little accounting for my year real quick, and I'm going to tell you guys what I did. So this last January, I built this funnel for, I was in RTC, and it was for charity, and we were doing a charity mud run, and it was a 5K, and we were trying to raise money for wounded soldiers. Really kind of cool, actually. So January, I built the funnel using ClickFunnels for a school thing. February, I got 650 people to sign up for it. It was awesome. March, we raised $7,000, and I kept building for several other clients. I actually started making a lot of money for other clients that I was pulling in. I was like, my gosh, like I'm figuring this out. This is kind of cool, right? April, I got hired by ClickFunnels, and I get to sit right here, and it's really cool. May, I just was trying to keep up with my boss. I was like, man, you are a genius. My gosh, I can't handle what it is that you do. But I was, again, barely, I get up, I usually stay up till, 12 and then get up at 5 again, do that every day. You can survive on that. And just building my own thing, right? So June, I finished salesfunnelbroker.com, and I went and started getting subscribers, and it was really cool. So that's June. So then in July, I started interviewing tons of people for a podcast that I wanted to launch. So July, I interviewed like crazy. August, I actually launched it. The first month we had 1,100 downloads. The second month was 1,300. The third month was 6,000. It caught like wildfire. So thank you to all of you who are looking at that. So anyway, but that's fast forwarding a little bit. So back in August, I launched the podcast and I started doing coaching calls and actually charging for that because I was getting so many questions. I couldn't handle all of it. I was like, I got to sift people out somehow. And it kind of sucks, but it's the way it works, so I got to charge for that. So I started doing coaching calls. September came along and that's when I had my first $12,500 week. I was like, okay. And I remember I was sitting in a Wendy's and I saw my phone and I was like, good crap, what the heck? And I showed my wife and we both just kind of sat there in silence for a little bit. Like, whoa, huh. All right, it's super validating. I was like, what? And I was like, I'm glad my wife was sitting there next to me also, like all the people who were saying, no, you can't do it. I mean, I worked for like 5 years for that, and I knew I could do it. I just was like, how? And that was the struggle for the longest time. And I call it my shut up check. The first time you get paid online or whatever it is you're trying to pursue, that's your shut up check. Shut up! Like, look, I did it, shut up. So that's the shut up check. I learned that from Sean Terry, by the way. Anyway, October, that's when I started having several $1,000 days, just back to back to back to back. And I was like, man, that's crazy cool. It was around the beginning and like the middle of summer, around in that time when I started making about $1,000 a week consistently off of the same few assets that I had developed over and over and over again. And I was blown away about it. And I was like, man, this is crazy cool stuff. Like, I'm super excited about this. Like, I'm hitting my goal. $1,000 a week, that's $4,000 a month. My goal is $4,000 a month, baby. What? And it hit the fire for me. And I was going nuts. I was like, this is the coolest thing on the planet. Ah! And I started, anyway, it was really cool. That's when I started building a lot for other people. And I was like, man, this is really cool. And so I started building. And I was like, you know what? This is actually worth a lot of money to businesses. Why am I not charging just a little bit more? So I started charging $10,000 for these funnels that I was building, and it was awesome, super cool. All while those other assets were going. And then this last month in December, I built a lot of my own affiliate programs to promote the actual company that I work for, which is awesome. It's ClickFunnels. So, and it's just increased that, which is really, really cool. So please understand, I'm not bragging. I just do this every year at the beginning of January, and I'm calling my shot. Okay. I'm so nervous. The only reason I have so much confidence to be able to do this is because I've now finally proven it after like 5 years of trying. And I figured out how it actually works, which is crazy. So cool. So awesome. You know what I mean? Crazy cool. I can't believe the amount of sleep I've given it. Like, I just look back and it's been very introspective over the last 3 months, especially. Like, my goodness gracious, like, how cool. And like, any one of you guys can do this. You know what I mean? I barely graduated high school. Like, that's not a joke. I barely did. All right. I failed my first semester of college. No joke. I actually did. I got kicked out. Okay. Then I learned how to study and I came back and started getting like straight A's, and that was awesome. But I mean, it's not like I fell into this. I worked my butt off. You know what I mean? And so it's really, really exciting and it's super validating. So anyway, that's the accounting of last year. And so I'm calling the shot. So I have $1,000 a week consistently going on, especially for the last 5 months in particular. And we were able to go like on a cruise. I was able to treat my wife to some fun stuff, like really, really personal wins, strong personal wins, feeling like, my gosh, that's really exciting. And a lot of cool lessons along the way, how I actually did it. Anyway, which is fun. It's really cool, guys. You guys can totally do this. So anyway, I'm really scared to say the number because I put it all together and I have a plan, and I know half of the funnels to get to this next goal are already built. I know I'm gonna hit it, but it's so scary for me, and I mean that sincerely. I don't mean scared meaning the amount of money I'm trying to go for a month is like, my wife was eating one meal a day while we first got married. We had $1,000 when we first got married. No jobs, nothing. I mean, a lot of you guys have heard that story. It's just really hard for me. Anyway, I want to make $30,000 a month. That's a lot. It's not quite 10xing. I think it's realistic. I actually have it down to the number how I'm going to do it with a lot of leeway, and I think I can hit it. And please don't think that I'm trying to be braggy, okay? But that's my goal, and I do this every year. So in 1 year, I'm going to count to you guys, and hopefully by then I've hit it. And whew, if I don't hit it, whatever. But this is my journey, okay? So if you guys want to follow it at all, I'm going to be documenting it. And salesfunnelradio.com. That's my podcast. And anyway. I'm nervous, guys, but it's going to be good. It'll be really good. A lot of personal development happens when you start going for something like this. I feel like it's not such a huge goal that it's going to be out there and crushing it, right? But it is definitely a big, hairy, audacious goal, right? It's out there. It's going to stretch me like crazy. But I think I'm going to hit it, and I'm going to do my best to do so. So that's so nerve-wracking. Oh my goodness. That's more money than we made in the first year that we were married. By a ton. I mean, oh gosh, you guys. Anyway, I would love to hear your stories. If you could comment below, I'd love to hear what your goals are. And I'm dead serious about it, okay? If you have any negativity about it, don't post below. I don't want to hear it. I'm also very serious about that too, okay? I don't want to hear any negativity. I want to hear things that you are out there trying to succeed and accomplish on. I remember there's a time, it was like 3 years ago. I knew I was onto something, but I just wasn't there. And I know a lot of you guys are that way. I remember standing in front of our bathroom mirror in our little tiny apartment. And I had just done door-to-door sales, and I did a good job with it the first little while. And then the second half, I got distracted and started saying, started putting things, like, that's when I realized I could sell in other ways. And so I started exploring, and anyway. But I remember coming back from that, like, feeling I did a good job, but also feeling like, man, there's nothing sustainable. Like, I made those sales and they're done. They're done. I got to do all that again just to make those sales again. And I was like, there has got to be a better way. And I was studying like crazy, and I was staying up really late, barely sleeping, reading ebooks, listening to podcasts, things on repeat. I listened to Russell Brunson at 2 times speed, which is like 4 times speed for anyone else. Like, he talks so fast. But I listened to him like crazy. And I remember standing in front of my bathroom mirror, just looking at myself, and I just started hitting the counter, just boom, boom, boom. I was like, I can do this. I started smacking it, and I got really intense. And I don't know why, but every time I get kind of pissed off, like, things happen, for whatever reason. And I was hitting the counter, I was looking at it, and I would look at myself and go, Larsen, you're the freaking man, and I start psyching myself up because I didn't know how I was going to do it. I knew what my goals were. I just knew that if I just plowed forward with the most ridiculous force, something would happen. And it was totally true. It meant I had to work for free for some people just to prove myself. It meant that I had to go have meetings with CEOs of 7-figure businesses all the time, 8-figure, even a 9-figure, like pitching my stuff to them. Fail. And then like, fail, but I learned something really valuable on this one. Fail, but I learned really something valuable on this one. I was like, whoa, wait a second. I started putting all these pieces together, and I started watching very specifically what a lot of the other guys out there were doing who are actually making money and serving. Not just, I don't want to be a shady guy doing this stuff. I want to actually help people. And so I was watching what they were doing, and I was like, gosh, that's so sweet. Like, I has nothing to do with ability. I know I can do it. I'm just trying to figure out how, you know what I mean? And I know a lot of you guys are that way, and I'm probably talking in circles now, but I mean, you feel it in your gut, and you're like, this is me, you know what I mean? That is me. I can do that. I can accomplish that. And I would imagine myself, and this is going to sound weird, but I'd imagine myself like staring my goal down, just ripping it apart over and over and over. Tons of motivational videos when I wake up because I wasn't sure how I was going to do it. Like, tons. Anyway, it is all I thought about and obsessed over, and knew that I could do it. And I've noticed that it's not always true because you got to have life balance, and that is important. But I also agree that to a point, for a while, when you want something that's extreme, like, life balance isn't really an option for a little while. You got to do stuff that's not quite normal. You know what I mean? To get out there and do it. It's like, if you want some kind of abnormal things, a lot of times you got to do things that are abnormal, which is true for a little bit, but then it's about building systems so you don't have to do that anymore and live crazy like I've been doing. So this next year, the issues that I'm running into, and I've written them down, was I'm having an issue with scaling. I got to get a few people here and there in place now so that I can step back and make sure I'm still providing value for my, the goal is not for me to solely focus on this one thing on the side. I work for just an insanely amazing company. It's an amazing company. I don't want to put my number one focus anywhere else except for where I work, because I love it. But I also know what it takes in order to push forward on it, and I'm seeing that, and I got that. And this year I really caught that, and it was exciting for me to do it. And anyway, I'm kind of rambling now, but that's my shot. I'm calling my shot, okay? And I'm going to do it. I'm going to make it happen, and it's really nerve-wracking, and I always hate making these videos. But 3 years ago when I started doing this, I made the first one. That's actually when stuff really started happening. So I challenge you to go out there and make a video publicly stating to the world and the internet what your goal is, okay? Whether that's financial or whatever the one big goal is. Don't make a huge list. To me, that stresses me out. I never do that. I never make a big list. I'm gonna do this and this and this and this. It's like, no, that's gonna stress me out, and I'm gonna drop it all in 2 weeks. I got one huge goal. Just one, and I know I can hit it. I have a plan to do it. It's realistic, but very stretching, and I challenge you guys to do the same and post it out to the world. So anyways, if you guys want to follow my journey on this stuff, if you want to know how I'm doing on it, go to salesfunnelradio.com, subscribe to the podcast, because that's actually where I'm going to be tossing in a lot of these things. I got some great interviews on there already. Should be releasing the next one tomorrow, but anyway, excited for it, and excited to see what your guys' goals are. And I think this will be a good journey, and this is scary to be accountable like this, okay? So be gentle, but not too gentle, because I want to grow. All right, guys, I'll talk to you later. Bye.
Thanks for listening to Sales Funnel Radio. Please remember to subscribe and leave feedback. Have a question you want answered on the show? Get your free t-shirt when your question gets answered on the live Hey Steve show. Visit salesfunnelbroker.com now to submit your question.